We're back quicker than a book stack, ready to add Skyward Sword to our Zelda tier list.
Skyward Sword is way too overhated, not gonna lie.
Yeah, this game always gets ranked with Zelda 2 at the bottom tier usually, but I really don't think it's bad.
I totally agree. One of the strongest points I think of Skyward Sword is the story. It's at the very start of the Zelda timeline, so it's a time before Ganon. So we see Demise as the villain.
Yeah, the game also probably gets most of its hate from the motion controls on the sword.
Which never really was a problem for me, but if that's your complaint, then just look at the HD remake on Switch. There you can use the joysticks and it works perfectly.
Something I was a little disappointed by was how lacking and bare bones the Sky Islands were. If they're supposed to be the namesake of the game, why make them bad?
Doesn't really matter though, since you don't ever have to do anything there really.
I still wish a game named Skyward Sword had an interesting sky.
Well, okay then.
The game also has some good dungeons. I love the Ancient Cistern and Fire Sanctuary, but the Desert Ship dungeon was pretty bad and it had a disappointing final boss.
Girahim is also a good antagonist. Before he revives Demise, he's the main villain and he is a good breath of fresh air from other villains who were really just Ganon then Vayeti, but they were very one-note with Ganon, especially having no character at all, but Girahim has a unique design and is very freaky.
Yeah, emphasis on the freaky.
There is also the Silent Realm stealth missions, which I know some people didn't like, but I didn't mind them and I thought they were a good change of pace.
They were a little annoying, but nothing that made me hate the game.
The game has a fantastic conclusion as well. After slicing through a horde of a monster army, you face Girahim, which now in his final form starts to look like an evil Fi.
We didn't mention Fi yet, but she is basically the Navy of this game.
Aside from reminding that your Wii Remote batteries are low, she lives inside the Master Sword and gives it its power, I guess.
Yeah, so now that we see Girahim like this, it becomes clear that he is Demise's sword guardian thing. Then once Demise is revived, he becomes his sword.
And this final fight against Demise is very difficult. You gotta master this fight to beat it.
Not going to lie, this boss made me rage so hard I chucked my Wii Remote through 4 walls in the White House, no cap.
But even though it's hard, it just makes the ending even more satisfying. So I really like this game, but it's nothing too extraordinary. So I think B tier.
And so it shall be B tier.
Hey, that's my thing.
YouTube.